All right, so now we're going to take a look at how to get the plot file that we were just looking at out into an SVG format, which is scalable vector graphic format, that we can then import into Illustrator or Inkscape if you're using the open source software for building your map, so that you can then bring in all of your sketches and begin drafting your map. So let me walk you through how you go about doing that. So to do it, you're going to use the SVG, what's called SVG exporter, which is one of the applications that you can download on the Compass Cave Survey website, the Fountainware website where you grabbed Compass. So you'll go ahead and install that, and then you can open it up. This is what it looks like. And in order to export a file as an SVG file, you need to open the plot file. The plot file is the file that was generated when you processed and viewed your cave. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to open a plot file. And I'm going to open a little bit bigger file this time, just a project that I've been working on. Let's see, where did I put that? I think that's here. We're going to open the Antelope Springs file. So I'll hit open, and there is the cave file right now. So I'm going to generate both a plan view and a profile view to include on my map. So to do that, you'll open the file, and then we'll play with some settings here. So the first thing I want to do is position it in the way that I want it positioned, and I want to make sure the scale is the scale that I want it to be. And we're going to begin with the plan view, and then we'll switch over to the profile view. So first of all, let's start by adjusting the scale. So we'll come in here, and my scale is going to be the total feet per inch needs to be 20, because that's what I sketched at. 20 feet equals 1 inch. If you're working in meters and centimeters, meters per centimeter, then you'll have to adjust the units up here and then set whatever that scale is. But I want it to match whatever the scale was that I was sketching at. So there we go, 20 feet per inch. That's good, and that totally screwed everything up over here. So how do I fix that? It's trying to fit a 20 feet per inch line plot on an 8.5 by 11 page. So I need to change the size of my paper. So I'm going to come over here to the paper, and we're going to change the size of the paper from we're going to change it to, let's just do something like 20 inches by 20 inches. See if that fits it. 20 by 20. Okay, that's like way too big. So I'm going to change the 20 over here to 11. That's pretty good. So that's fitting the whole thing on the page, which is great. There's a little extra over here, but I'm okay with that for now. There are a few things that I want to add or maybe even subtract. So I'm going to go into the display here now, and I can choose whether I want to include passage walls, if I want the station labels on there, which I probably do. That's going to come in really handy when I try to align my sketches with the line plot. So I'm definitely going to want those. They're really big right now, but I can adjust that later in Illustrator. So, and then we got show features. I don't think I have any features. Center point, I don't need that. Show the grid. I probably don't need the grid, but I'll keep it anyway. The nice thing about all these things is once you port that over into Illustrator Inkscape, most of these items are all in their own layer, so it's super easy to turn them on or off later. So I'm just going to say I'll take it all right now, and then later I can choose to adjust things. In the passage, I don't think there's anything really that I want to adjust right here. And then for the SVG file itself, I can change the grid spacing. I'm actually going to change that to 20 feet. So it's more in alignment with my sketches. And then I can play with the colors, but like I said, I've got plenty of control to do that in Illustrator, so I'm not going to worry about it here. That all looks good for me for now. So the next thing that I need to do is just save it out as an SVG file. So to do that, let's see, where do I do that? Right there, export SVG. Oh wait, there was one more thing that I wanted to do before I do that. I almost forgot. So before I do that, the question that I have for myself is this aligned how I would like to be aligned, or rotated how I want it to be rotated. And because I'm going to do a profile view as well, and it's going to be a projected profile view, I want to look at the cave. I sort of want to like rotate it a little bit so that this line right here is horizontally aligned. So when I look at it and rotate it, it will be in the best direction for the map layout. So I'm going to go into, let's see, where do I do that? Passage, survey. Here we go. So I'm going to adjust the yaw, and we'll adjust that. Let's see, maybe like 340. There we go. That's a little better. Let's see if we can rotate that right about there. So maybe like 345. That's pretty good. I'm liking that. Looks like I may need to make a little adjustment on the top there. So we're going to come back over here to the paper, and we'll just make that 12 inches. Just add a little bit extra up there to capture everything. And I think that's good. So at that point, I'm going to export the SVG file as an Illustrator. I want it to be compatible with Illustrator. If I wanted it to be compatible with Inkscape, I'd check one of those and add the Illustrator tags, Inkscape tags. I don't need it to be compatible with earlier versions. I got the latest version, so we'll click Finish. It's going to ask me where I want to save that. I save it on the desktop. And one of the things that I do when I name the file is make sure that I include that yaw, just in case I need to readjust things later, so I know what I've rotated it at. And then I just click Save. I'm not going to need to do that because I've already done it, so I'm going to hit Cancel. And then for the profile view, I just have to come back into, let's see, is it Display? Post. There it is. Under Post Scale, just click on the profile, and bam, it rotates it into a profile view. I need to extend this out just a little bit, so I am going to adjust, let's see, my paper size to, looks like maybe 22 inches, just to expand that a little bit. And then we're done. And then I'll just hit Export SVG. We'll do the same thing. Save it out. And then we are good to go. We've exported out our file. And now we're ready to dive into Illustrator or Inkscape and start building out our map.